AITA for shaming my sister for being pregnant and refusing to help her at all with any expenses? Your sister is no better than her deadbeat baby daddy, harassing a poor woman with 2 kids. NTA. But what no one's even mentioning is how the sister treated the other woman on top of everything else. She's stalking the other woman, sending hate messages and telling her how he's her man now. What a complete shitty human being her sister is. Knowing that she's screwing over innocent children. Not that this guy isn't a deadbeat. And then she defends this parasite but has the nerve to ask her sister for money? The audacity is mind-boggling. Personally, I would have nothing to do with her. FFFs. Her sister thinks Op owes this deadbeat loser an apology. Info. When did your sister ask you to help with her expenses? That's the question in your title, but there isn't anything about it in the post. NTA. Some people have to learn hard lessons on their own. You did what you could. Now she has to live with the consequences. I get that by being a twin. It might be harder to stand by and watch. However, you gave her the proverbial kick in the butt. It's all on her now. Who knows? We may all be surprised by the outcome, but be prepared when she starts her apology tour. NTA. This is just like kids of alcoholics. They either hate drinking or grow up and become an alcoholic themselves. Unfortunately, your sister is morally bankrupt just like your dad. Bad enough to take up with a deadbeat, but to harass his abandoned partner is unforgivable. You're right to be disgusted with her. I'm sure you'll get an opportunity to know her kid. If you want to. Once her baby daddy takes off and she needs help. AITA for not sending my son to school with lunch for his half-brother? NTA. And since you both share a high conflict history, stick to the legal form of communication and take on no responsibility to anyone outside your son. Even kind gestures can be twisted into stories told to the courts that cast shade on you. Consider this. Text her once in the app. To date I've received X number of messages from you dated September 5th to October 11th requesting I send a lunch to school for your son. Age X. To be delivered to him via our son. Age X. I have not responded to this request, nor have I sent food to your son. This led you to state demeaning opinions about me. Consider seeking food and social services support by contacting the school for a list of community resources. Do not contact me about this topic again. If this suggestion is truly outside of what you are comfortable doing, then don't. It does demonstrate she is struggling and is potentially not accessing community support she may or may not qualify for. Op. You made the right choice. Remain level-headed, and although your son has a brother, your focus is rightfully on raising him. No need to cave to her manipulation and demeaning statements. Best to you. NTA. The first day you send a lunch will slowly become 2 or 3 times a week. Then every day. Then it will be a few school supplies. Then a pair of shoes. A new bag followed by more Okay. Had to read this a few times and still a bit confused. But if you are saying you are not genetically related to the 6-year-old, and you've never been a regular part of his life, NTA. If the boy is suffering, it is a direct result of poor choices your ex made. Not your problem. But if this is the United States, the kid probably qualifies for both free lunch and free breakfast at school. If she's so desperate, she needs to beg you for food for kiddo. Then kiddo should be getting 10 free meals at school each week, regardless. It's not your problem. Keep ignoring her. NTA. You have neither a relationship with nor obligation to her younger son. She needs to get child support from his dad if she hasn't. And go to a food shelf and get on a free lunch program if she's that poor. AITA for acting upset in front of my family because my dad got me a $460 bottle of cologne for my birthday? EHNTA. But honestly, just sell it and get what you need for yourself. Unless you threw a fit and or said something genuinely hurtful. NTA. I'm guessing your dad was gifted this somehow and is re-gifting it to you. Is it possible your parents are struggling a bit for money too? In any case, he should know, if he doesn't, that this was not a thoughtful way to be kind to you on your birthday. You would not be the asshole at all if you sold the cologne and put the proceeds toward things you actually need. NTA. Based on your father repeatedly telling you he paid a lot for it and telling you to look up the price, I believe he did not pay $460 for your gift. I think he bought a knockoff or counterfeit and is trying to make himself look like a big shot by pretending to throw money around. Weird gift for a college kid who's never expressed interest in scent. Info. Are you sure he paid for it? Or was it a gift to him? Or is it a knockoff? He found an inexpensive, unused bottle at a thrift shop and tried to pass it off as an expensive gift? If so, it's not like he could have handed you $450. Kept saying that he paid a lot for it and encouraged me to look it up. How tacky. NTA. AITA for telling my friend I don't want to take the same flights as her for my honeymoon? NTA. But the fact that you can't see that this was intentional is ridiculous. Greater than which I thought I had told my best friend you did. Greater than my friend has joked before about tagging along to my honeymoon. She wasn't joking, she fully planned this. She planned to spend the entire trip with you and is now sulking because you've told her that won't be happening. She is obsessed with you and is mad that you're being taken from her. You need to put boundaries and space between you before she gets other bright ideas. NTA. It's obvious she booked the flight to Barcelona intentionally and there's nothing wrong with distancing yourself from her during this trip. It's your honeymoon after all. Totally not blaming you. But your mistake was telling her your plans while knowing how clingy she can be. NTA. Change your flights. Do not tell anyone other than a parent where you're staying. Tell them they are not to give that information to anyone. And tell them why. As someone above suggested, put an automatic message response on your cell phones. And use this opportunity to start distancing from this person. Because she sounds a little unhinged and it will not help your marriage when she tries to crash everything else. Having visions right now, if Op has kids, of this friend trying to get into the room while Op is giving birth. She's manipulating you by weaponizing her emotions. And I would bet that she's done this for your entire relationship. What you said to her was entirely reasonable. It's your honeymoon. Of course you want some private time with your new spouse. It's not even about your friend. But she is making it all about her. Just remember that you can't control her responses to your boundaries. But you can control what happens when she crosses them. And how you interact with her while you set those boundaries. You're NTA for what you said. And you said that if you wind up in the same place, she will wind up attaching herself to you and your new spouse for at least a part of the trip based on past experience. This girl sounds, frankly, obsessed with you, and it's probably time to have a frank conversation with her about it. I can understand if you want to wait until after the wedding. But I would certainly rebook things. If not the flight, the entire trip, so that you can avoid her crashing your honeymoon. After that, I would consider cutting her off. This is majorly manipulative behavior on her part. I wouldn't want that shit in my life. Greater than I anticipate that she will want to spend some time with us while we are there and can foresee her feeling offended if we don't. Dude. Just let her be upset. Let her be offended. Because she has done something wrong. And she knows it. Tell your other friend they're welcome to invite her to their next honeymoon. In fact, if they're already married, why on earth didn't they invite her to their first one? So rude of them. Apparently. Nah. Enjoy your honeymoon. Don't give that clingy friend, or her flying monkey friend, any more info on your flights, hotel, plans, etc. And if she asks you to meet up, just say, no, I'm not interested, seeing as I'm on my honeymoon. Please do not ask again. If she persists and whines about you not taking the time to just meet with her a little while since you're both in the same place, tell her, we'll be in the same place as you when we return from our honeymoon and you return from your separate vacation. Please respect my space by not contacting me until then, as I am celebrating my new husband and our relationship. Thank you. Don't respond again after that. Block her and the other friend if needed. This isn't about them, but they're trying so hard to make sure it is.